You used to slice the ball, now you hook it. Both are just as frustrating. Here's what's actually happening. The ball goes where the face points at impact. You got tired of leaving the face open and slicing it, so now you preset the club shut, you shut it more in the takeaway, and from there, all you can do is hook the ball. Here's the difference. An open face makes the ball go right, a neutral face makes the ball go straight, and a closed face makes the ball go left. You used to leave the face open and slice it, now it's too closed and you hook it. In this video, I'll show you how to find neutral. We'll go over the 4 checkpoints to look at in your swing and the 2 drills to help you right away. Checkpoint number 1 is our grip. If it's too far off at setup, you're gonna have to make compensations during your swing. If you're hooking it, generally both hands are too strong, meaning they're both too much this way. What I want with the left hand is for it to be more in the fingers instead of the palm. To test that, you can hook the club with your pointer finger, palm on top of the grip, and you can bounce it up and down. If it's too much in your palm, it'll slide out. When you close your hand and look down, I want to see 2.5 or 2 knuckles. To figure out where you should grip it with your right hand, we're going to use the Mike Adams fold test to see how your body naturally moves so we can set up according to how our body can move. To do this test, get in your golf posture, palms together, and all you're going to do is swing your arms to the right and allow your right elbow to bend. To repeat all your thinking, swing arms to right, allow right elbow to bend, and you're going to try and keep your torso as still as possible. When you do that, you're going to get one of these 3 results, and that'll correspond to a different grip. If you're unsure which one feels more natural, go with the middle one, a neutral grip. If you test out, you should have more of an on-top grip, but currently you have a very strong grip. Over time, you can just work your way there. You don't have to make that huge jump in one go. Checkpoint 2 is the start of the takeaway. Even if your grip is perfect, you can still shut it too much here. What shutting it looks like is the club face is pointed very much towards the ground. People do this by flexing their lead wrist. To have a nice neutral face here, all you're going to do is keep the same amount of cup that you had at address in the first part of the takeaway. When you do that, the face will be more or less straight up and down. It can be a little bit closed, maybe even a little bit open. We just can't be way shut this way. At setup, if you have 2 knuckles here, there's a little bit of cup here. Just keep that for the first part of the takeaway, and you'll have a much more neutral face. Checkpoint number 3 is the top of our swing. Before, if you had a very strong grip and shut it, the toe would be higher than the heel of the club. If we have our good grip and we keep the same amount of cup at the start of our swing to have a neutral face here, and we keep that same amount of cup throughout the rest of the backswing, the heel will be slightly higher than the toe. It only has to be slightly higher than the toe. We just don't want this, and we also don't want it where the toe is basically straight below the heel. Just a little bit will be perfect. The last checkpoint is what our body does into impact. People that had the face too closed, over time had to compensate to keep the face open. They do that by sliding, keeping the chest way behind the hips. And what that does is 1, it makes the path too much to the right. 2, keeps the face open for longer. To fix that, we're going to need to get taller, push with this right leg, and turn. Drill number 1, we're going to work on the first 3 checkpoints without a ball. You'll have your nice grip. You're going to do slow takeaways to here, where you see the wrist cup is the same and the face is pretty neutral. It could be a little bit here to a little bit here, just not flexed and shut. And then at the top, you keep that wrist cup and the heel is above the toe. What this looks like, you're going to do 50-60% effort, just kind of hitting these checkpoints and then hitting the ground. You're going to repeat that and then you're going to film it to make sure that you're actually doing it correct, because what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing could be way off. Once you get comfortable going 50-60%, hitting these checkpoints, you can add a ball. Once we add the ball, we're still going to film and make sure we're hitting those checkpoints. We don't really care where the ball goes quite yet. We just want to make sure that we hit the checkpoints and we can then make contact with the ball. What you might see is that when you do this drill, your checkpoints will be very good, but you'll start slicing it. This is because you don't know how to close the face. If you were hooking the ball, everything you did in your backswing basically already shut the face and you just had to hold on, where now the face is much more neutral and you have to learn to actively shut the face. To shut the face, you're going to feel this left arm roll over. That'll close the face. And the right wrist will extend, similar to as if I was throwing a ball. When I do that, I feel the left arm roll over, the right wrist extend, the face will shut. And you can also see this will gain a lot more speed. Before, when the grip is too strong and you shut it too much in the backswing, basically just had to hold on and keep the face open, and it's not as fast. Now you're just going to add that to drill 1. You're going to hit all the checkpoints, let the left arm roll over, right wrist extend, and now you're actively shutting the face, and the ball should go relatively straight. Drill number 2 is going to fix this hang back look that you used to need to keep the face open, and we're going to work on turning and elevating. Put the club across your hips. You're going to pretend there's something slightly in front of my hip and slightly higher. You're going to turn back. Feel like you shift forward a little bit, and then you're going to push both legs straight, and this club head is going to hit this thing here. You could have someone just hold their hand out there or just imagine that there's something there. What this does is it's going to make you push with both legs, but the thing that people are missing when they hang back like this is they don't push with their right leg. When I do this, I go up and I turn, and so it'll gain you speed and it'll also make your path much more neutral. To work on this with the ball, stand here, do a couple like that. You're doing the drill, and then just grab a club and try and have that same feel and just make contact with the ball. What may happen right away, before when you're like this, you can see I'm very low to the ground. When I turn and rotate, I'm much taller. You may top the first couple or thin them. You'll just have to learn how to extend your arm to get down to the ball. So don't worry if you top the first couple. Those are the 4 checkpoints and 2 drills to turn your hook into a straight ball. To make progress faster and eliminate guessing, you can get personalized lessons in the description.